Hello, welcome to West Ham Grumble on Irons United with me, Alf Gaspar. Let's just get rid of this hat, shall we? Look, we went up to Burnley, and was I expecting much? No, I suppose I was expecting more of a commitment, more of a change of attitude, more of a, we're going to sail our good ship up there. And we're going to, hoist the sail and hoist the old Jolly Roger, and that's it. The pirates are coming into town and we're going to steal your gold. I don't know what I'm talking about, but basically, you know what I mean. I thought we were going to have a bit of a, get in there and show them what's what. Nope. Our boat did not come in, and unfortunately we sank miserably, and all hands on deck got very, very wet. Where do you start? There's lots of the other channels, I'm sure, have been talking about this. Lots of people coming online, social media, talking about this. They're talking about Pellegrini, off with his head and all that kind of stuff. I've always questioned Pellegrini right from the very start. I'm not jumping on any bandwagon. If you watch all my grumbles right from the very start, from his very first game, I questioned his tactics and I questioned decision making and I questioned his lack of animation on the touchline. I questioned all that. But still, I thought, do you know what? He's got the qualifications and the pedigree to be one of our better managers and possibly one of our finest managers. And that's a big thing to say, for me. But I thought that. But I questioned it. I questioned some of the games. I was really disappointed. In fact, angry. In fact, frustrated to the max about how last season and now this season we kind of thrown away the cup runs. And both times those cup runs have led to real serious issues. Now, let's forget about Pellegrini for a start. Let's just talk about the players, okay? Right from the back, Roberto, Jekyll and Hyde. What the hell is going on? He's Mr. Calamity, right? And then he makes some decent saves afterwards. But by then it's too late. He's letting in 3 goals. He's knocked one into his own net. He's thrown the ball out to Balbuena when he's got players around him. It's just shocking. Absolutely shocking. Now, I mentioned Roberto not to single him out in particular, but what I want to say is about Fabianski. Fabianski, we miss him terribly. But, and I said this all last season, if you remember, on my shows and videos, whatever these are, grumbles. I say actually, right, virtually from the first couple of games, I'm saying he's our hammer of the year. Hammer of the year. He's saving us. If it wasn't for Fabianski, broken record, Fabianski. He's constantly saving us. We would have let in 4 or 5 goals, 6 goals each game if it wasn't for him. That's why he was our best player, overwhelmingly. But who here agrees with me, leave in the comments below, that your goalkeeper should never be your best player? Because if your goalkeeper is your best player, that means your outfield players are having a bad day. Occasionally, yes, fantastic, have a great goalkeeper, and you need a goalkeeper to command the box, be a bit ruthless, a bit Schmeichel-esque, if you like, right? All that kind of stuff. Maybe some of the keepers we've had in the past. Parks. Loved Parks. For me, he is the best keeper that we've ever had. For me. It's debatable. I know that. But for me, but, we had somebody in Fabianski who wasn't somebody who controlled or who was vocal or all that kind of stuff, but actually just showed in, week out, what a great all-round goalkeeper he was. Shot stopper, commanded his box, everything. Roberto, on the other hand, completely flip side of that. He's coming out, he's not even catching, he's trying to punch it, double punch it when he should be making easy catches. What's all that about? Absolute rubbish, that is. But the thing is about Fabianski, all last season, he was covering up for all our deficiencies We were terrible in defence, we were mediocre in midfield, and we weren't getting the ball up to an attack straight away. How many times were we criticising whoever our strikers were? Let's say Hernandez, I'll just pull his name out of the back. But how many times was Hernandez not getting proper service? How many times were we not playing to his strengths? It's exactly the same here. Season, we haven't improved. In fact, we're probably where we were a couple of seasons ago. In fact, for the last 3 or 4 seasons, we haven't. Now, a couple of people have been raising the whole spectre of, moving from Upton Park and, going to the London Stadium, and blaming the board and all that kind of stuff. And issues with Karen Brady this week and the comments that she's been making as well. Look, what can I say that hasn't already been said before? But the fact of the matter is that when we were leaving Upton Park, or when it was muted, I wasn't in the country at the time when it was first muted. I was still living away. But actually, I was thinking to myself, what's going on? What are we doing? You can't be doing that. Then when it actually started to materialise, I was back here again, and I think and then I was thinking, well, what are we doing again? We shouldn't be doing this. We should be doing something else. We should be staying here. We should be redeveloping. But not many people were. You kind of become the lone voice of something that nobody is really talking about. If I was doing the videos then, like I am now, you're too right I would be doing it. If I was writing the comments or the columns or the blog posts that I have done the last couple of years, then I would be writing about it. There'll be much more of an uproar, but maybe the timing just wasn't there in terms of the way we do it on social media now and the way it was then. But look, we were kind of sold an idea, and the idea is that we go to for better football, better success, whatever. It just hasn't happened. Now, we can blame the board for all that, and we can blame the board. Yeah, they're the ones who took us away from Upton Park and all that kind of stuff. I know, I appreciate it, because I feel as badly about it as anybody else, and I totally disagree with us going. But we went. That's the thing. We went there. Now, the last couple of seasons, rightly or wrongly, right, we now have more money to spend because we don't have the stadium overheads. We're only paying $2.5 million a year or whatever it is. That means we take all that TV money and we put it into players. So the last couple of seasons, I know about net spends and all that kind of stuff, yes, but we have put money, or the board, as you say, have put money into players. Look, who hasn't been excited for the last couple of seasons about getting these players in? But do you know what? We've all got carried away with this. We've all thinking that these new players are going to come in and do fantastically well. They haven't. They haven't done well at all. We've just bought badly. We've just bought. No, let's scrap that. Not badly. We've just bought players that we don't really need right now. What we need to have is a strong team, a physically strong team, a strong spine, resolute in defence, good goalkeeper at the back, which we do have, and Fabianski, of course. Strong midfield, and who are actually going to move the ball forward with purpose and be enthusiastic to go forward as well. None of this side to side and everything. What's happening? What's happening with our players? I think we've bought too many players that are just not made of true grit, if you know what I mean. I was watching some of the other guys on other channels talk about interviewing people, and they were just saying, look, they had loads of British players, Burnley this is, English players and British players in their team. We've hardly got any, it just showed the way they played. Look at the way they played. Look at the way there was purpose, endeavour. They were quick. They were whipping balls in, old style centre forward stuff, getting your head on it. Do we do that? And this is just not old style football they're playing. It's good, honest football, and it's effective, and there's some really good quality there as well. Whereas we're trying to go for this, oh yes, quality under Pellegrini, but it's just so ineffective. It's not. There's no grit. There's no determination there, and there's no speed. There's no speed going forward. And also, we're a calamity at the back. The things about Pellegrini, every single player should hold their head in shame, apart from a couple, right? For me, Snodgrass has just been, you know, he's been somebody who can hold his head up high, in my opinion. A couple of others have done all right as well, but him. But everybody should be holding their head in shame. I feel Haller is getting a bit of a bad rap, but again, he's not getting the service. But also, his endeavour has gone off the game. He's not as mobile as I thought he would be or should be. He's not really that ultimate front man. He should be a little bit behind there. Well, it's just so disappointing. It's frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating that we've got players that are just so out of form, all of them. We've got so many players that are just not bringing the game. And we've got a manager who doesn't seem to realise that actually he should be adjusting his tactics. He should be making big changes here. Now, on the other hand, you've got Sean Dyche on the other hand, who actually, they had a bad result the week before. Do you know what he does? Gets rid of both of his left back and right back, puts new ones in. Thanks very much. And do you know what he demands of each and every one of his players? Full commitment, 100%. Because if you're not, you're out. And that's it. So no, whilst I'm not saying that Burnley are a fantastic team, and whilst I'm not saying that Sean Dyche is the best manager out there, what I'm saying is they play for him. He directs. He knows exactly what needs to be done. Whether it works or not, he's there. And guess where he is during the match? Yep, in his coaching box, right on the touchline, shouting. When they had their goal disallowed, what was he doing? He said, look, focus, focus. Keep focusing, keep the momentum going. Pellegrini doesn't do that. Very rare. People have said, is he too old for this? I don't know if he's too old for it. It's just that his manner is not really that. Do we need a change in management? Look, other people have been saying, and I don't want to keep on quoting other people, but look, it's out there. People are talking about it, right? Other people say, well, look, we can't really see the board paying him off 12, 15 million or whatever it is, 12.5 million, I think it is now, to buy him out, right, of his contract. The problem is, right, let's say if this is a downward spiral and we were aiming for 6, but we end up in 16th, 17th position, let's say, just above relegation, right? Well, that equates to, at the end of the season, I think about 10, 11 million is about £1 million, maybe a bit more, £1 million per place now, something like that. That's 10 million. So if you buy him out now and that prevents that from happening, then you've kind of evened up your money. I agree, I'm not calling for his head, but I'm saying, look, we've got to be seriously questioning this now. We've got to be questioning him, his ability to get this ragtag bunch of players together into a unit. And I tell you what, it's just not going to happen. Now, do not be under any false illusions here that when we entertain Tottenham, in a couple of weeks, whenever it was, that, we're going to rise to the occasion, because we always do rise to these occasions. But it's just not good enough to think, oh yeah, look, everything's fine and dandy now, just because we get an almost committed performance against Tottenham or Chelsea or Arsenal, whatever. Actually, we should have a committed performance against every single team out there. You know it, I know it, we all know it, but why don't the players know it? And I don't think, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, I don't think the players are knowingly going out there and thinking, I can't be bothered, I think they just look lost. I think they just don't know what the manager wants and if they truly believe in what the manager is telling them to do. And I think they're just struggling out there with the game plan, with the tactics. I don't think he has a very good plan A. I don't think he has a plan B. And plan C and D, forget it, they're non-existent. Because if he did, he would be changing things during the match. He would be making earlier substitutions. He would be thinking, right, I'm against this team here. They got really strong, fast wingers. You know what? can't have that player there. I need to put that player in. Maybe change the formation up here again. Maybe bolster out the midfield. Maybe be more defensively minded. Let's reset for a few weeks. Let's get ourselves back into a fighting unit and then push on afterwards. No, none of that. We haven't seen any of that. So if you've got 5 or 6 games that you haven't done that, and then afterwards commentators are asking you, so what do you think about the game, Manuel? What do you think about the the defeat and the manner of the defeat? Oh, I don't know. Well, when another team they score more goals than you, it's better, it's worse. Come on. You've got to do better than that. You've got to have a better appraisal of where you've gone wrong and what your players have done and what you've done as well. Got to be better. Look, as you can see, do you think I honestly enjoy making these Grumble shows? I absolutely don't. I detest them. I honestly do. I don't get a kick out of them. I wish I did. I wish I could say, do you know what, this is all a big joke. No, I don't. I don't get it. I much prefer making the oi shows and talking positively about West Ham. But I tell you what, you've got to give me something to feel positive about. Again, it could have been 5 or 6. I suppose I will be positive here. Roberta did make a few decent saves. There we go. That's it. Everything else, just not good enough. Add insult to injury, of course. Noble got injured. Lanzini got injured. Why wasn't that player... Maybe retrospectively, actually, because he really did just clip with intent Lanzini's ankles when it made him to go over. I think he got a yellow card, I don't know. But the first goal, retrospectively, under VAR, why isn't that incident where the ball was actually deflected off one of the, I think it was Barnes, went off and then it gave a corner where actually should have been a goal kick? Why is that being let off? Why is VAR and elements within VAR failing us? Look, that's another discussion, isn't it? But that's an excuse for bad decisions, but you can't really use that as an excuse for our overall performances, which has just been crap, really. Look, and kudos to coming out for, some players and Declan Rice saying, look, they bullied us all over the pitch and they deserved it. And they did. They deserved it. We didn't. But how many times are we saying that now? How many times are we all coming away from games or watching on TV or wherever you are in the world, watching the game or trying to get information about West Ham, and everybody's having the same reaction, but the same problems exist. Not just from this season. They existed last season, the season before, the season before. It's about defending properly, resolute midfield, and actually getting the ball forward and creating lots of individual chances with pace, with power, with purpose. Don't have any of that. Let me know what you think in the comments. So please subscribe to Irons United and check out the website and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? As I say, I'm gutted. I really am gutted with this. I didn't need this weekend. I really didn't. But there we go. International break. Spurs. Catch you again. Ta-da.